Welcome back to another daily vlog experiment. Today's February 24th, and I want to keep this short and sweet, so I want to check in. Oh, look, the NAACP program is back there. All right, y'all, so let's talk about the day. Work is very interesting these days. I can't actually give a lot of details. So today was a day of a lot of meetings. I also sat in on a clergy meeting with some senators and a few, over 100 clergy, black clergy, and just talking about what is going on in the world and the ways that folks can be supported, especially those who have been fired from their jobs. I was going to say laid off, but they're being fired. And those who potentially be affected from the RIF reduction in force. Um, yeah, and so having that conversation, well, being a part of that conversation was quite interesting and illuminating, and just hearing people's questions and hearing their concerns were very eye-opening, especially hearing about the impact on federal funding, particularly the impact of the halt on federal funding, particularly related to DEI, as we've all, been watching the news. And so I've been paying very close attention to the impact on HBCUs, particularly as an HBCU grad, as someone who started my full-time teaching career at HBCU, and y'all know my PhD is focused on HBCU students. So, yeah. So right now, the USDA, which is basically, I think, under the Department of Agriculture, it is their back up. So a lot of HBCUs are land grant schools, which I can't tell you what that means at this moment. I can tell y'all tomorrow. But basically, there are a lot of USDA grants given to those schools where students have a full ride. Well, right now, students are impacted and the funding has stopped, from what I'm told. And so it's really impacting students, of course, if they had a full ride. And I think about when I was an undergrad, I had a full ride to undergrad. I think I told you about this. But yeah, I had a full ride undergrad, a 4-year scholarship. As a matter of fact, I had to sit a semester out because a myriad of reasons, mental health, not being able to cope, a lot of different things. But anyway, when I came back, I got my scholarship back. So I know all too well what it means to get a full ride to undergrad. And so, yeah, I've been really thinking about the impact. The thing that I've been thinking about with all of this, when being on the call, I was like, at what point will there be a call to action for companies? And then somebody mentioned that in the chat, and they were talking about, what about companies? So I'm looking forward to finding out more about how companies will be able to support those who are impacted by all the firings, reduction in force. And I mean, just jobs in general. So many people are losing their jobs. It's not just civil servants. So I've been thinking a lot about that. And yeah, it was a good meeting. Next time we meet, I am going to speak up. I haven't spoken out just because, even though I've had questions, I'm one of those people, I like to observe first. Even though I do talk a lot, I like to sit back and observe what's going on, see how things operate, and then I like to contribute. So I will be sharing some thoughts, and when I share what I share, I'll come back and say a version of what I shared there. What I want to share in the group is not something I necessarily want to say widely on the internet. We'll say that. I think that there's an organizational piece that must be done off the internet. I know that some folks say the revolution can't be televised. Some folks say it can. I'm one of those people that's like a both and. So, but I think what I will be raising in that space will cause a shift in some things. Actually, I don't think, I'm certain. I'm actually ran it by somebody and they were like, yeah, that's they gave me confirmation that that would be a great way to have folks think about some other things. Not that what I want to bring up is so groundbreaking. It's just like, what about this? So, anyway, I'm talking vague, as I told y'all the reasons why. But anyway, so yeah, so then I was, like I said, I had a lot of meetings working. I was able to get back into my movement routine. I told y'all I wanted to do that, so I did a little bit of aerobics, and I also did some yoga. Very happy about that. And for the last couple of days, I've also been doing some calisthenics. So I love that because it makes me feel great. And I've been drinking a lot more water, which water is great for us, and taking all the vitamins and all the things. So feeling great about that. I did run out of lotion randomly. I usually use Laneige hyaluronic acid moisturizer. And so I ran out and I wasn't paying attention, so I have to get some more tomorrow. And I also ran out of, I use a Neutrogena hyaluronic acid gel, which is like a gel base they call it a moisturizer, but it's not really enough to really grease my face. So, and I do the whole like Korean skincare. Like when the Korean skincare trend happened years ago, I never left that trend. So, I've got to get back to that because your girl's face is dry. It's probably a little oily now, but I didn't put on any lotion. So I'm in those meetings, y'all, ashy, ashy, ashy. But I don't want to put just anything on my face. So I would rather be ashy than to break out. Even though I don't know what I ate that has caused me to break out, but I've had an allergic reaction to something. So I have to see. Let's see, is there anything else happening in my life? Finally, I'm working on my cards. So right in front of me, I'm not going to show y'all because I'm going to be mailing these out, but I've been writing the inside of my cards. And so I've just been using Canva to write my notes. I'm going to cut them out and then paste them on those card stocks that I showed y'all when I was in San Diego, and then I'll decorate them. So it feels good to write these like heartfelt messages to folks. The next thing I want to talk about, I'm about to start getting back into my theological bag. Not that I left, but I want to start reading tangential things beyond just the Bible. And this is what I'm starting with. In my phone just beeped. It was my Ring cam. I was like, somebody texted me. But Engaged Spirituality, I got this when I was in seminary. And so, yeah. I'm going to read. Did I get this in seminary? Yes. I'm going to read this. But I'm also going to read some Howard Thurman. What is it? Well, this is a book I'm going to read, but actually I'm going to listen to this Howard Thurman. Let me pull it up. I think it's like I, thou, and something. Howard Thurman. Oh, no. This was a different book. So this was a book that Dr. Katie Geneva Cannon told us about at a workshop. It's called I and Thou by Martin Buber. And so I'll be reading that. I'm also going to get into my womanist theology bag, my Black liberation theology bag, because y'all will hear this first right here. I have been working on something that to me is a millennial theological response to what has been going on in the world over the last few years. One that is critically looking at grief and a few other things. I'm working with some folks I'm just working with my former dean. He and I have been having conversations about what does a theology look like from my perspective. And so y'all hear it first. So I've been quietly working on that. Part of me getting back into my theological bag and reading bag is also going back. So I'm also going to be adding books from books talking about Ida B. Wells and reading books from the Harlem Renaissance. I'm going to read slave narratives and really go back into my Black author bag in a way that I have a new lens. So I'm looking forward to that. But before I get to all of that, like in terms of me sharing, I'll be reading and stuff. But in terms of me sharing, I still owe myself the Deborah Lee biography. So then I can piece together the BET story, because that's still important to me, especially with how they created BET, because I'm going to share parts of, I'm just telling y'all again, but I'm sharing parts of Deborah Lee's life and her perspective in another video. And then I'm going to do in one video, but then in another video, I'm actually going to, between the two memoirs, I want to construct the history of BET. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. So I'm about to be on an intellectual journey, which I'm very excited about. Very, very excited about. Let's see. Boosie Teaches news. So the marketing efforts have begun. And again, I'll share with y'all when I'm done. But they have begun, and I am a little nervous. I'm one of those people that I find it sometimes, even though I'm a glass half full person, sometimes it's easy to lean into despair and say, oh, well, nothing, such and such isn't going to work out. But I'm one of those people that things generally work out for me. Not always, but a lot of times. And so I have shared this with y'all, but I like fear success. So I am just bracing myself for the responses that I'm going to get from this targeted marketing for the Boosie Teaches first year experience. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to adding more to my schedule and being more engaged with folks. And really looking forward to students getting the web series. So, what else is going on? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this check-in. As always, I'm so glad that you're on this journey as I, Boosie, evolve. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Yes, I had to come back and tell y'all what I learned on TikTok. Y'all, did y'all know that crawfish can be found in the mud and in ponds? And oh my gosh, yeah. You should look up where crawfish come from. I didn't know. Now, I'm not a big crawfish eater, but I do like seafood boils. I haven't had them in a while, but I found that out on TikTok. I'm going to start sharing some interesting TikTok facts that I learned too, but look up crawfish. When I found out where they come from, I probably won't eat them again for a long time. So, yeah. Anyway, see you tomorrow.